"2016, the year we all look back at with a deep sense of nostalgia. But why do we find this year so important to us? Whether it's Snapchat filters, dank memes, or Vine, we all remember 2016, especially since most of us were at the peak of our lives, living with no responsibility. This is also the year that my life changed for better or for worse. But when we look back at this year, we find out 2016 was a pivotal point in bringing us where we are now. People say that 2016 was the last normal year, quote unquote, of our lives before things like AI and pandemic era shifts took place. Let's look deeper into it though, and find out what really makes 2016 this holy grail of a year.
My name is Jeff.
One of the things that made this year so important were the film and television shows that came out throughout the year. Zootopia, Captain America Civil War, Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, together made over $3 billion. Why is that so important though? We all know Disney goes crazy every year in the box office, but what makes this year any more special than the others? Well, if you were paying attention, each 3 films I listed are from 3 completely different studios, all making money for Disney. This year right here is where we really see Disney start to take advantage of being a giant conglomerate of different studios and corporations. Well, wow, all this money from different studios is making me hungry for more. So obviously we know Disney is getting ready to take over. What's going on with So Netflix is taking off right now, and it looks like it's because of this little show that's giving older generations nostalgia from when they were younger, and oh my god, this is going to keep happening, isn't it? Netflix is actually really smart because they kind of helped kick off the nostalgia bait boom that we see pretty much every day now. Plus now, Netflix wasn't just that weird app on your Wii that had movies. It was a weird app that was everywhere now, with all the biggest shows, movies, and originals. I think we can thank Stranger Things for allowing streaming services to be as big as they are now, because when other companies saw how big an original show and a streaming service could be together, they all started to work their way into the hype and take over our lives. Enough with that though, let's look into cultural impacts and dank memes. Simple times, simple jokes, simple trends. Don't you guys miss it when you could be the coolest person on the block for having a half-empty water bottle to flip, ripped skinny jeans, and a fidget spinner in hand? If you walked out looking like this now, you're instantly getting made fun of. But we all know deep down this is what we really want to look like back in 2016. Cultural trends of this year reflected the simple down-to-earth feeling we all had. We all thought that we would be young forever, and I think we can blame millennials who were in their 20s having the time of their lives before they hit their 30s. Things like the mannequin challenge, the dab, and short form videos all blew up, reflecting the idea that life is short, so let's do what we want to do now. What people didn't realize though was that those short form videos from things like Vine would end up taking over the whole world and end up being one of the only ways we consume content in the future. These trends and forms of media allowed us to see celebrities in a different light for the first time as well. Since we all shared the same social media apps, watched the same videos, and participated in the same trends, we actually had a closer connection with celebrities than we have ever had in the past. This boom in social media also allowed for the exponential growth of independent content creators, who would have never before had any sort of platform. But now, they have easy access to grow a following and become a new type of celebrity.
Internet celebrities.
Celebrities who blew up on apps like Instagram and Vine quickly became large influences on the general population, and with a lot of them moving to YouTube, an already giant social media website, they were able to grow their audiences even more. These people influenced trends in fashion since they were still hip and young, and we'd pretty much do what they said to do, wear what they said to wear, and do pretty much anything that they said to do. Yes, that is 10-year-old me wearing Logan Paul merch, which I thought was awesome at the time. I bet I'll never regret buying any of that.
Gaming.
I'm going to keep this one quick because we all know this isn't the year games got as popular as they are, but I do want to acknowledge that this is the last year that I personally would consider someone as a gaming OG. I think if you played games before up to 2016, you saw a lot of the wild frontier of modern games, experimenting with what they could and couldn't do in society and how they could do it. After 2016, games changed the industry forever with microtransactions and collabs with IPs that literally no one knows. Like, for real, who is this? Now let's get in deep with what may be the craziest and most important part to this year and our future. Harambe. I'm just kidding, it's actually Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, and politics in general. Really? This is what I have to talk about? I think South Park summed this up perfectly, and we can just leave it with this.
Hope that those students and their parents who question my qualities would simply look at my opponent. He is a turd sandwich.
You're a turd sandwich.
No, sir, if you'll pardon me, you are in fact the turd sandwich.
You're a turd sandwich.
Sir, you are a turd sandwich.
You're a turd sandwich.
I'm just kidding, of course. This is actually a very important topic for this year, and was the moment that would determine the next 12 years of our lives, I guess. Yeah, 12 years of our lives, following us into adulthood, parenthood, and maybe even grandparenthood for some people. The 2016 election between Clinton and Trump is a pivotal moment for the future, and would forever change the country's political norms. First of all, this is one of the first elections that was widely broadcasted by social media, generating many memes and jokes about each candidate, which they sometimes tried to use to their advantage, but I wouldn't say it always worked.
But I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
The 2016 election was very controversial as well, with the Clintons already having a bad reputation and Trump saying some questionable things during his campaign.
Where I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.
This was also a special election because despite Trump losing the popular vote by nearly 3 million votes, he still came out on top and won the election. Also, before this election, it was never really professional to be extremely negative and rude towards your fellow candidates. Obviously, that changed quite a bit due to this election, and now it's common practice to be overly critical towards your opponents or opposing party, even if what you're saying isn't true. On top of all this political turmoil and election stuff, the economy was kind of just there, too. The economy could have at least been booming to make this a little better, but it was growing at a tremendously slow pace. Literally slower than economists had predicted. Wow, this section is really bumming me out, man. Is there any way we can make this video like a little more lighthearted?
Music.
This is where nostalgia really hits, and honestly, feels like one of the last years of the 2010s pop era that we had all come to know and love. Now, obviously, other music was big and existed, but this seemed to be like the last year that artists like Justin Bieber, Ed Sheeran, Bruno Mars, and more being like the heavy hitters of the industry. Hip-hop was also at a high point in this era, with Drake and Kendrick Lamar gaining more and more popularity for their hit songs, and Kanye being one of the biggest names in hip-hop/rap industry at the time. I personally remember driving to school every day with all the biggest songs being played on the radio, sending me overall great vibes. Songs that weren't produced by giant industries and big artists were becoming popular too because of things like Vine and different memes gaining popularity throughout the country. Songs like Black Beatles with the Mannequin Challenge, PPAP with its absurdity, and All Star with Shrek memes showed you that you don't need the industry to become popular. Your song could now just blow up from one funny video that people started recreating, even if it's been over 20 years since your song was released. All of the songs this year that were released and or became popular reflected the carefree attitude a lot of us may have had, or the political events during the year, or even just what we may have found funny at that point of time. 2016, a year we all look back at in awe and nostalgia, or maybe that's just me. But there's no denying the fact that 2016 is one of the most important and pivotal years that would, unbeknownst to us, change our lives forever. And with that, I leave you with this question. Was 2016 actually a great year? Or are we just blinded by nostalgia?